All right, that's it for the bottom end. Not much to it. Transmission, crankshaft, counterbalancer. That's pretty much about it that's in here. So before we get the cases put together, I already gave it one last check to make sure everything was cool, everything was spinning the way it should, everything is rocking and rolling. Let's get it back out of neutral and in gear and throw some assembly lube into the gears. Then I have this little guy. Let's see if we can hit the reverse gear. Okay, so see, we got the transmission all lubed up. And now some more assembly lube into here. Okay, and we'll get this to top dead center. All right, that side's ready to go. All right, so before we drop the right case onto the left case, let's make sure that these bearings also are lubed up. Alright, before we put these together, let's give it one last clean with some contact cleaner. Alright, so the last step we do before we put the cases together is get our dowel pins set. There's one in the front of the case and one in the back of the case. But first, before we do that, we're going to add a little bit of the old anti-seize to the dowel pins to make sure that they don't get stuck in there. This stuff is hard to get just a little bit. I'm going to have to tackle this a different situation. You don't want to get this on you. Okay, so let's get Alright, now it's time to put the gasket on and slap these cases together. First, before we do that, what I like to do is put a little thin coat of Maxima waterproof grease on both cases, so that in case we need to take the thing back apart or whatnot, we can get it off without any hassle. So we'll just put a little bit of a thin coat of grease, super thin. Then we can go ahead and remove this thing, because the other case half is going to fit right over the top. Alright, now that that's in place, we can put the gasket on. And then we can just cut this top just to make sure. We'll cut it off better later, but just to get it seated proper, we get that out of the way. Alright, with the gasket in place, now we can put a little light coat of grease onto the right case and drop that sucker on there. Alright, now we want to do the same. Little light coat, just a very light coat before we drop the case on there. Alright, with that done, we can drop this thing on there. Alright, now that we got the gasket on, we got everything greased up, we got the cases looped, we got the tranny lubed up, we got all the bearings lubed up, we got assembly lube in there. Let's set this sucker down on there. And there she is. It's seated all the way around. Alright, now that we got that cases seated together, we can go ahead and throw on the bolts, and I have set them out. I made a little diagram and I pushed them through. So each one of the bolts is perfectly laid out where it belongs. And I got my brand new nickel plated bolts that are going to go in there. And my brand new magnetic oil drain plug. It's going to catch all the metal after this motor's all whacked out, which it better not be. So it's exactly the opposite of what we're looking at. But I'm pretty smart. I can figure out that the bolts here go here. I can reverse engineer my little diagram right there. Alright, so let's get to putting these bolts in, and then we can get it back up on the table and we can go to town. Okay, so the way we got this thing setting now, the left case is on top, the right case is on the bottom. So the ones in purple are the ones that go through while the way we have it sitting right now. So let's go ahead and get in those, which I got the first one right here. And there's two at the top, the 2 9s. They go up there. And then there's a 6 over here on the front, which is the front over here, which is right there. So let's get those in there. Let's go ahead and put in the 4 bolts that belong on this side. So one goes here, one goes here, one goes here, and then there is one that goes over here. And we just get those hand tightened right now so we can get this picked up. Alright, he's taking 8mm. Whew, they all spin down, thank God. Now we can pick this thing up and flip it over and get the rest in there. Alright, now that we got it flipped around, we can put in the rest. One here, 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 and one up here. Crisscross pattern. And the last one. Alright, now let's just tighten these down a bit with a crisscross pattern. Alright, now we'll just finish these up with the last round. Tighten them down. Looks good. And that should cover it. Now we can trim up our gasket. And there we go. Alright, so in the next video, what we can look forward to is we're going to be installing the oil pump, and we're going to be putting in the cam chain, the timing chain sprocket, and we are going to be hooking up the shifter star and shifter linkage, and the timing chain guides, and the clutch, and we're going to go from there. This motor is coming together. We're going to go ahead and finally get that into the machine and fire it up. Fire it up. Let the engines roll. It's time to burn it down. That was Black Label Society, by the way. Burn it up. Check that song out. It's pretty awesome. Make sure you hit that thumbs up down there and make sure that you subscribe to keep up, and make sure you turn the bell on for notifications so you get notified every time I put out a new video, and you will never miss any of this build. So yeah, make sure you do that. And once again, thanks for watching. Peace out, Girl Scouts.